now over to the subject.
Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
To
you.
start
Thank you,
with,
sir. Thank you very much.
I introduce
Well done.
well-known
Sir, thank you, sir. Thank you.
our beloved
Thank you.
principal, Dr. K.N. Subramania, sir. Dr. K.N. Subramania, sir, is currently working as a principal at RV College of Engineering, Bengaluru. He did his BE in Industrial and Production Engineering from Bangalore University, MTech in Industrial Management from IITM, Chennai, MBA from Karnataka State Open University, Mysuru. With HR specialization, he sir took 5th rank, and PhD in Supply Chain Management. Has total 29 years of experience in teaching and training and consultancy, research and administration. Academic and research expertise includes operations management, supply chain and logistics management, e-enterprises, modeling, simulation, modeling and analysis, decision sciences and applied ergonomics. He guided more than 100 UG and PG projects, actively involved in research and guiding. 4 research scholars published 46 technical papers in referred national and international journals and presented 81 technical papers in national and international conferences. Executed several funded projects, consultancy, assignments, and coordinating the projects and consultancy worth more than 30 crores at institution level in 3 years. Authored chapters in 4 books. He is a member of various statutory committees both at the national and state level. Also served as member of various autonomous committees in the country. Serving as member in professional societies including ISTE, BCIC, ORSI, IIMM, QCFI, IEEE, IISE, CII, and CSI. On behalf of Department of Physical Education, I welcome you, sir. So over to Principal, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Vishwanath.
Thank you, sir.
Good evening to all of you. Elrigu namaskara. Soundaraj Aras sir, Amarnath, then Sudhakar. First of all, let me thank all of you for being a part of this webinar session on fitness to statistics. Fundamentally, I was playing sports, but particularly cricket and basketball for quite some time when I was young. But now, on a regular basis, I don't play any sports actually. But my jobs are all different. Now my jobs are all at the strategic level. So, Elrigu namaskara. I see more than 280 students and the others are there in the seminar. I'm not going to speak more about the sports because already the expert has spoken. I could listen to some part of Soundaraj Aras about the psychology in sports also and how the sportsman should be there. But from my experience, I have found that as you know that in RV College of Engineering, we have produced very good sports people starting from Chetan Babu, Anil Kumble, and we had very good players in basketball team and state cricket teams also. They have represented a lot of people in the university and in fact RV, one of the hallmark is that we encourage a lot of sports activities and we always believe in the overall development of a student, not just the technical education. So as a part of that, we are always 1 in 3 in the university as far as the overall ranking in sports and cultural activities are concerned. And we have a separate budget for sports actually. And we have 3 PEDs who take care of all the sports and games activities in the college, as well as we hire coaches and specified games also. I think these are all the initiatives we are taking, and we have some sports facilities, cricket ground, football ground, indoor basketball stadium, and indoor shuttle badminton, then open lawn tennis, and many other gymnastics facilities, then other indoor games like chess, carom. All such facilities are available in the college. Maybe we are due for making a good cricket ground actually in the campus. But for the metro work, we have not taken up that. And maybe as soon as the metro work is completed, we are planning to have a very good cricket stadium in the campus. So that will have much more motivational levels for the students to play in a better way. So this is about the sports activity we do in the college. But I see a lot of people actually who are in sports. I don't say all the people play sports in the college. There are 7,000 students in the campus, maybe around maximum of 1,000. But participation, if you take it, is around 400 to 500 students will be participating in various sports and games at the district level, regional level, state level, and the national level. And some people also play at the international level. As all of you would be knowing, recently, two of our students, brothers actually, one was in aerospace, who is studying now, one was in civil engineering, Avinash and Arvind. In fact, they represented India in Asian Games in swimming championships, and their participation itself is very good actually, because being in the engineering college, people always feel that how these people find time. We have some kind of a adjustments also we do in our academics, in the sense the tests, the exams, if they are representing the country or the state, I think we are ready even to conduct special exams for these people. And there are some sports incentives also which are given to the students in the campus. So we have developed a total ecosystem, and I think all these speakers would be knowing about RVCE, and because you will be always in touch with Vishwanath, Mallesh and Madam through the sports activities. And we conduct actually one of the very important events called as the Chamaraju Memorial, which is a cricket tournament which we have been doing for decades together, where it is an invitational cricket tournament, and I think everybody in the college enjoys these tournaments, apart from whether they are sports people or not. During these cricket games, all of us enjoy in the campus actually. So these are some of the activities we do in the college. But my always a worry is that why actually all the people don't play sports is a big question mark. Everybody knows that it's going to give a lot of health. And as you know that now many people even don't have stamina to take care of the COVID disease. Everybody says that, okay, you do yoga, you do exercise, but I don't think majority of the younger generation doesn't do. And particularly people who are from city don't do it. If they are come from a semi-urban and rural areas, we need not have to tell them. I think they actively participate. But urban area students, I don't know what is the problem. Does the problem lies with the parents? Is it with the ecosystem by providing all the technological gadgets in childhood? We don't know the reason. Because I keep going around the college, we have 7,000 students, and I keep asking, but somehow they are not motivated to do these things. So I think this is a very sad part for majority of the students, because all these people play starting all these things at the age of 40 or 45. They realize that health is important only after that. But at the early age, they always feel money is very important. I think since being the good college, the kind of placement they get is also very good here. Maybe that may be an attitude among the students, but anyway, being the head of the institution, I always try to encourage sports and all the other activities what students does in the institution, and I hope we are in a position to drag more students into the sports activity, because healthy body and healthy mind are very, very important to keep always good work to be done at any point of time. And there are some issues which arise, like say positive attitude. All such things are very, very important. But let us say, what is this all about? I am talking about statistics here. I am not going to talk about statistics per se here. What I was looking at is that majority of the people who are all very good engineers, some may try to take the sports route, but after completing engineering, I have seen very, very few people like Anil Kumble may take the profession. But majority of the people will again go back to the job opportunities or something else they'll be doing it. But only very, very few people take sports as a profession after they complete engineering. So I thought there are a lot of other additional things which they can do as an engineer. So one such activity is the sports analytics. Actually, sports analytics is a very, very important area which I think, I don't know, it had not gained a lot of momentum, but because of the invent of the technologies and the mobile phones, sports analytics has gained a lot of momentum in the recent years. At least in the last decade, I can find out that this analytics has played a very, very important role. Why this analytics would be important is that a sportsman himself can evaluate himself actually. where does he stand, what he can do, what further he has to improve if he wants to do it. Because there is a saying that what cannot be measured cannot be improved. I don't think in sports everything is qualitative, everything is quantitative. There are numbers in it. A number will be always in terms of the timings. Time is a very, very precise factor for the sports people. I think all of you know actually the difference between the time of a Olympic 100-meter gold medalist and a silver medalist. I think people talk about microseconds and milliseconds and seconds. In some games it is in the minutes. People talk about time. So what cannot be measured cannot be improved. That's how statistics and analytics becomes very, very important. My suggestion to people would be those who are already into the sports, what they can do is, we see that many people are good in sports, but if you ask them to evaluate themselves, I don't know how many of them can have these measurements with them in whatever the sports and the games they are taking. I'll give a simple example. This year actually, I guided one interdisciplinary project in the college. In fact, this was my passion. I personally took interest. One student is from aerospace who has represented Asian Games in swimming, that is Avinash, and other student is from Industrial Engineering Department who is representing shooting in the country actually. And there is other student in mechanical who is representing table tennis in the country. So these are the three people who are very good and they are already achievers at the national and the international level. Then I thought, why can't I make these three people into one group and ask them to use some technology in bettering their sports. I think they come out with very good ideas and already they have submitted the report also for their final year project. Actually, it was a 16-credit course. So in that way, I found that I always feel that anything they do should not go as a waste. Because everywhere there is engineering, everywhere there is technology, along with whatever the passion in life, these people try to do it. So in that way, I made it into a group, and maybe in engineering college, can you expect all sports people working together in a technology? In their own passion, I don't think people may not accept. They say, you are an aerospace engineer, do aerospace project. You are a mechanical engineer, do a mechanical project. But I could find out a swimmer has got beautiful technology of aerospace could be used there. Then if you talk about a table tennis player who is in mechanical, he can use all his kinetics and kinetics links, whatever comes in the applied mechanics can be used. And being an industrial engineering student, he can look into a lot of analytics, ergonomics. So there is a lot of engineering in this sport. So I made these people, one fellow, a table tennis fellow did a sensor development for his bat actually. So he did, if I put a ball in this position, it will record all the positions and say what will be the best position when he is playing. An ergonomics person try to look into how to balance and try to see the error when he put his shooting has to be reduced. There are a lot of body postures also things are available and he tried to do that. And swimmer, he took a case study of when he is standing ready, say go. During that position, he found there are a lot of problems. In fact, that is going to determine the winning and the losing. That's what he was telling us. So then those positions were studied and how aerodynamically the swimmer has to swim, what should be the maximum length. So they used all the kinds of softwares available, analytics which is available. And I thought that in sports, these kinds of technology and analytics has to become very, very common. And there is also a proposal by many universities, innovative universities, that sports engineering would also be offered as a bachelor degree engineering program. I say that lot of such technologies could be used, which many of our sports people are deprived of. They were all actually, they're all doing on their own. There are some coaches who are helping, but the exposure to the technology, because I have visited East London University, there is a multi-speciality sports indoor basketball stadium was there. The kind of facility which they had there was extraordinary. Actually, the physical education director was a psychologist in the sports, and he was telling how technology makes use of, because that ground is used by all the England players for the basketball practice. So you can imagine the kind of facility they have provided, and there was huge lot of actually the facilities which are available. In fact, I have not prepared a PPT, otherwise I would have told all the photographs of the videos of those places, whatever I have taken. And once again is, I went to Melbourne actually. So if somebody is talking about analytics, I went to MCG Cricket Stadium. When I went there, I checked. There is a huge library. I don't know how many of the sports people would like to have a library. Here, they say that starting from the cricket, when it started till date, they have got all the data of cricket. It was a huge, only cricket research library, they call it as. And if you take the data, the kind of analytics you can do is huge, very huge. That itself could be a profession. Then these are some of the points I wanted to highlight, that there are a lot of technologies which could be used here. Of course, apart from the fundamental inherent characteristic of a person in a specific sports and game, that will be always there with a person. But all these augmentation of knowing about himself, measuring about himself in terms of the analytics, using the technology for bettering his sports, I think that is where engineering role is going to come into picture. And I'm sure that in the future, people are going to take care of these things in a very, very serious manner. The advantage of analytics would be you have an informed decision actually. If you analyze yourself, then your performance would be much better. That's where analytics would be very, very helpful. And of course, in a team game, analytics becomes very, very important. You are supposed to know the strength of a person, weakness of a person, and where he can do the things. In a team game, actually, analytics is going to play a very, very important role. So that is why analytics becomes very, very important. And when you take how to be good at analytics, let us say somebody who doesn't take the sports as a profession and he passes engineering and he goes and joins somewhere, but can he take analytics as a profession? For any engineer or statisticians, this is a huge profession. Let me tell you the salary structure in America. A person with a good level of education and the location, of course, it all depends on the location. So where he is doing his job. You know how much is his salary? It is coming to somewhere around, in Indian terms, 6 lakh rupees per month is the salary. They're all termed as what are called as the data scientists. Data scientist, as you know, is a huge profession today in the market. It's not just in sports. Anywhere you take, you need a lot of data scientists. So people who have a passion for life, who don't want to professionally go into the sports line, but still they can go into this line because there is a lot of money and there are a lot of need. Let us say you are a cricket player, go to the cricket analytics. If you are a table tennis player, go to the table tennis analytics. There's a data science. It's a science actually. So there are a lot of things which you can look into it. And what are the things you can do here if you want to go into these areas? It expects some skills actually. If somebody has to work as a data scientist for a specific sports or a game, it expects some skill. First of all, I think mathematical ability is very, very important. I know, I think the seniors here like Amarnath and Sundaraj Aras may be knowing there was one person called Gopal Krishna who was a cricket statistician in the KSCA stadium. So you may be knowing, actually he is our alumni actually of RV College of Engineering. He has done BE Electrical Engineering somewhere in 1965, 1966. And recently we had called him to the college, and I am sure that you will be knowing about Gopal Krishnan. He is a beautiful statistician in cricket. You ask anything, what has happened in the cricket field, he will give all the analytics to us. So in fact, the kind of thinking, intelligence he uses while he puts analytics, I think he says that only few people in the world does such kind of an analytics. So there's a lot of intelligence also which is needed. So of course it is mathematical ability is needed. Then if somebody wants to develop, let us say, younger generation are very good in developing app developments. You want to see something in the app. So you also need to know the programming languages. So if you know the programming language and the mathematical ability, I think you can make a lot of money in the, because sports and games, you know how many things are there. Once you start doing it, I think collection of the data, then maintaining this data, putting it into the system, then yes, in fact, you know, data can be sold also today. If you say that I have got, let us say, all the Indian cricket players' data with me, their performances in the last 10 years. In fact, frankly telling, you can sell the data to the other countries. They may be very eager to buy that kind of a data because they would like to know how a Dhoni plays. If they have more statistical data with them, they can make their own strategies. So in that way, today data can be sold. So this is possible only when you track a data. In fact, once when I was doing my MTech program, we had called Vishwanath Anandan for one of the lectures. He was telling that whenever he plays a chess, what he does is as soon as he plays a chess, he goes by the side of the computer and put all the moves whatever is made in the computer and he stores the data. Like that, he has more than 1 lakh data points with him. So if somebody of that cadre has got a 1 lakh data point, I think designing a very good chess system for the future generation becomes very, very easy. It can also be made an exact science actually, if people are talking about. So then you'll be needing ability to analyze the data you have with you. But how do you analyze? What kind of a graph has to be put? Data means it is not just only the number. Data could be in terms of the numericals, data could be in terms of the text, data could be in terms of the videos. Today, if you see the kind of technology which has been done, any third umpire seeing a video and declaring out or not out is a huge science actually. It's a technology which itself is there. So video analytics is another important thing which people can try to use. In day-to-day, if they start using that, actually they can know where do they stand. So many times what happens is people go by experiences, but it can also be made as a science if you have all these kinds of things like say video analytics, text analytics, or the numerical analytics or the data analytics. So ability to analyze becomes very important, and how to interpret the data is another skill they will be needing. And of course, they should also be knowing how to solve a problem. Problem solving ability should be there with the person who wants to enter into this area, and he should be logical thinker. Anything you do, there should be a logical thinking. And then you can also have, let us say, planning and meeting the deadlines. I've seen many people, actually, let us say, somebody goes for a sports and he does a particular activity. On that day night, actually, everything has to be stored and he has to sleep for the next day's game. I don't know how many will do that. Any data which you store, any of the action or the process you have done, it has to be recorded. For which you need your mental status becomes very, very important actually. And also planning and meeting the deadlines is very, very important, because meeting the deadlines should become a habit in the sports person, because he is talking about the time. So when he is talking about the time, meeting over the deadline becomes very, very important. So according to me, I think these are all the different kinds of skills anybody here, an youngster who would like to take it as a profession for a job itself, as a data scientist or a data analyst, I think there is huge potential, because you are the people who are already the sports people, you know the process. Because I don't know about tennis. If I do the analytics of a tennis, I don't know how it will be helpful to the people. There is a person who has done tennis. If he becomes a data scientist for the tennis, then it's going to have a lot of value. As you know that Anil Kumble has won a data analytics company for cricket. It's called as Tenvic. He has a company. So wherein all the statistical related things of a cricket would be available, and anybody would like to make use of that data points. So I would like to inform you, first is the data. Whatever is the sports of the game, and so a lot of data is available. It could be in the form of a video, it could be in the form of a data, it could be in the form of a text. All these kinds of data would be available. How can you convert that into an information becomes very, very important. And then how do you convert into your knowledge? Because if you want to tell this to the future generation, any data and information should be converted into your knowledge. And knowledge will be helpful for wisdom. In the sense that at the strategic level, if you are taking any sports policies, sports decisions, all these kinds of data would be very much applicable and will be helpful. So I also request all the sports people, please convert all your information into knowledge, and why can't we go on writing the books and all these things so that it will be helpful for the next generation. So it's not just looking into the photos when they are playing the game, but about all the intricacies which are involved. The experiences of the sports people, if you can convert your information into knowledge, I think it will be helpful for the next generation. Through that, because it's all the exact sciences, people would be ready to read all those things and try to learn whatever is possible from thy side. And then at the wisdom level, there is the top level, people can take a lot of decisions. So that is about the data, information, knowledge, and the wisdom which I am talking about. And the last point I would like to highlight is what are the types of analytics? Actually, what happens is there are 4 types of analytic tools, types of analytics. The first one is called the descriptive analytics. Descriptive analytics, in fact, whole of the sports and the games people do only descriptive analytics. What happens is descriptive is the past data. You take the past data and try to analyze what may happen. You will not decide what may happen, but if you say what is the average run rate of a Tendulkar, what is the average runs per over by any bowler, also data is given based on the past data. So that is called the descriptive analytics. And then there is something called the diagnostic analytics. Diagnostic analytics is, let us say you expect people to do well. India becomes all out for 100 suddenly. So then what happens? Diagnostic analytics is you try to analyze why it happened. Is called as so this is a separate tool. You have to write queries. You should know what went wrong on a particular day and things of that sort. So like this, diagnostic analytics tell you why it happened. What was the reason? All those analysis could be done. Next one is called as a predictive analytics. Predictive analytics is very, very important tool that can you tell like somebody has scored 100 today. Can you predict and tell in the next match how much he is going to score? It's as simple as that. So it's a prediction. So predictive analytics is very popularly used tool in industries when they sell any of their products or a car in the market or soaps in the market. I think they use predictive analytics because the demand is very, very important for to make production in any organization. Similarly, if you want to perform very well, can you do the predictive analytics? There are a lot of tools actually, machine learning, artificial intelligence tools are available today based on the past data. If the number of data is much more, then you can also try to look into how the performance happens. In fact, I will also say that it's not just the data. There is something called the subjective factors also. I'm sure somebody may ask the question, sir, game is not just the data itself. It's let us say if you take cricket, it's the weather, it's the pitch, it's the mental status of the sports people, a lot of things are there. So there are a lot of other mathematical tools also which can club the subjective factors as well as the objective factors. These are all called as the multi-criteria decision taking models. You can use both, add all these things and still predict what happens in the for the future. So you can also do a predictive analytics which may say what may be done, But the prescriptive analytics is that how it should be done in the future. Can you give a medicine for that? That means can you exactly tell how it could be done? I want to score 100 tomorrow. How do I do that? That is called the prescriptive analytics. I'm sorry, I'm taking only cricket example often because I'm very fond of cricket. That's why I'm taking. Otherwise, same things are available for the other kinds of things also. Other sports and games also it will be available, wherein you are all the better judges to do that. So these kinds of analytics are possible. When you talk about the prescriptive analytics, already people have started using it. You can actually use, let us say, a artificial intelligence tools or a machine learning algorithms to predict all those things. I don't know how far, I don't have any statistics as of now, but I'm sure across the world people would have already done these kinds of exercises of using technology and the modeling to predict how the things have to be done. So if you people know that if it have happened, actually the Olympic in Tokyo, if it have happened, you know, this is the first Olympics with a total IoT kind of a total technology was made use of in the Tokyo Olympics, starting from picking up a luggage of a sports person from a airport is done by a robot. The reception and a welcome drink in a hotel is given by a robot. And all the kinds of analytics, how things are happening in a centralized place, a dashboard has been prepared. You can go back and look into the Google and you find out that huge technology was made use of. Unfortunately, it could not happen because of COVID. So people across the world are trying to use a lot of technology, and technology along with the analytics will be one of the very good profession I wanted to focus today. I didn't want to focus on the sports per se, but sports people who try to continue as a sports personnel, I think that profession is fixed for them. But as an engineer, you're a sports person up to doing engineering or afterwards sometime also, but there is a beautiful profession which you can, because you're already in this profession, you know about this sport. Only thing is you're an engineer, you're a statistician, you're a BCom, you're a BSc, it doesn't matter. So can you take this profession, because there is a lot of scope in the future in another 50 years, according to me, in the data scientist role in a sports kind of an sports and games kind of an environment. So I thought I'll try to spread this message and what should be the qualification. People are actually generally they say if there is a degree in sports, actually that will be very good. Or else let us say you're already a sports person, you don't want to go in that profession, still you can do that, you can be an engineer also. and they also say specialization if you do in the area of sports performance analysis. So there is a separate subject actually, sports performance analysis. If somebody can do these two things and try to develop some technological tech savvy if you become, I think going into a data scientist role is a huge opportunity in the future. I think I am going to end my talk by saying that sports is for the mind and the body, is not just for the body. And final message is that whatever could be our age, let us try to do some activity so that we are always physically fit and mentally strong. So with this note, I thank my sports department for giving this opportunity, and also thank all the speakers from the sports section, sports departments of various places who have given a very good talk about the all the sports activities and their experiences. And I think there is an overwhelming response. There are around more than 280 people who have participated. I think I'm very, very happy to be a part of this, and let me thank all of you, and let us take this profession into newer heights. Thank you very much. Thank you once again for your active and patient listening. Thank you very much.
Sir, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
On behalf of Department of Physical Education and Sports, I thank our beloved principal, Dr. K. N. Subramania, sir.